Hey, HTDA, and today we're playing some more StarRupture if everything is actually working. So, if you're in the chat, say hi so I know that you're there. Okay, where did we leave off? So actually I played a little bit during lunch and I was able to do some of the more boring stuff. I did a lot of running back and forth, but this game is so addicting, so it's super exciting. Okay, so let's see. Let me double check if my sound is working. Should be working, yeah. The real problem is that I don't hear anything. That's probably my bad. Ah, there we go. There's my sound. Okay, so, yeah. Let's see. I am back at the helium base, and... oh yeah, I did a thing. That's right. That's where I left off, so let's go back inside. What I did was I unlocked the... not this one. This one. I unlocked the new intermediate building material. And I needed to basically just gather a lot of the stuff that I already had in production.
Necesito agua.
So the inductors that I made last time, titanium housing that I had already prepared a while ago, and the glass production. Now the glass, I actually had to kind of cheat the system there for a moment. Because in order to make glass, you need the helium and you need silicon powder, I believe it's called. Let me see. I'm gonna fall off this thing so many times. That's it. So basically what I've done is I just brought a whole bunch of this stuff with me rather than building a giant conveyor belt, and I just put up some storage and put it in there. And yeah, that works. I mean, it won't work forever, but it produces more than enough of that glass to get me going. So that means we should now be able to produce the intermediate construction materials. I'm not sure why I'm jumping down. I have a perfectly good stairs to work with, but okay. The real problem with this stuff, and I actually got a bit scared. Look at that. You need the basic building material, you need inductors, you need glass, and you need the titanium housing to actually make this stuff. And we're going to need a whole bunch of this stuff. But it seems my main bottleneck is actually going to be the basic building materials. So, let's see. How much did that get me? Over 1,000. We can make plenty more. But yeah, I think I'll have to go back to my main base pretty soon. Oh, I am getting really low on my water though, so let's fill that up. However, I might need to clean up my base a bit now, because I should be able to build a new thing now. I can't actually see the chat, so there we go. Okay. What are we building? We are building something. Oh, I can't actually build any of the normal stuff because I don't have the building materials for that. But I can build the cargo dispatcher now, which is only... oh, I actually don't need that many of those advanced materials, at least not for now. So this is going to dispatch the cargo, and this is going to receive the cargo. So then, that works how I think it will. Let's see. Let's go into build mode. Actually, let's go into leave mode for a moment. Hold on. So, I mean, we can keep this pretty simple, I think. The silicon stuff is done now, so I used all of the stuff I put in there. And how large is one of those dispatchers going to be? Allows for the long distance transportation of selected items. Requires a cargo receiver to operate, that's fine. But if that works like I think it will... oh, I can actually need to be a bit closer. Let's flip that around. Is that aligned? Yeah, that looks aligned, okay. Then all I need to do is just plug that in, right? And we should now be able to then transport... oh, hold on. No, this is not what we want to do. Hold on. I don't want these furnaces. I want to just export the helium, I think. I might change my mind at some point. And also, actually, since a single one of these refineries will actually produce enough for a full Mark 1 belt, or for Mark 2 belt, I mean. Okay, let's just clean this up for a moment. I'm deleting the ground beneath my own feet. Okay, okay. Let's also delete this. This might leave some stuff on the ground. Yeah, well, that's okay. We can make more. Let's see. What we're going to do is just make a cargo dispatcher over here, I think. Yeah, we might as well make use of the cargo setup that we already have. Let's go down a little bit. Oh, I'm in the way. Hold on. Cargo dispatcher, that's the one we need. Like this, is that aligned? Yes, it is aligned. Ooh, and that comes out. That's nice. Or did I just place it the wrong way around? I'm confused. Where do we plug this thing in? Okay, maybe that will sort itself out. Let's see. So this is the storage. Yeah, okay, I did put it the wrong way around. I am blind, apparently. Okay, hold on. I was convinced I had that right. Oh, okay. So I know why I thought it was wrong, but it was obviously wrong. Okay. There we go. Now it should be fine. Okay, and then we get this. We get this and we get this. It is not powered at the moment, but you are going to be transporting helium, and then we need to power this thing up. So let's put down a wind turbine. Actually, I'm not sure how many wind turbines I will need for this. Do I need more than one? Seems not. So, instant items will be returned to inventory. Yeah, that's fine. I want to check how much power you actually need. Power needed 5, grid power 9200. So, that doesn't actually tell me enough because I don't know the extractors. How much power do you need? 15 power. And the dispatcher is 40 power. That's not that bad. Okay, so. I mean, yeah, that works. Oh, we actually need to select the destination. Oh man, do I need to... Oh, okay. Well, I might need to come back here then. But while we're at it, let's do the same thing over here. So we have the cargo dispatcher over there. That is funneling into here. We have some more cargo over here. So if we then add a second dispatcher, we can do that one. Flip it around, lower it, and put it over there. And then... Hello? Is this the bug again? Hello? I just want to build my line there. Okay, that's a lot harder than it should be. There we go. And you are also transporting helium. Oh, I should definitely select the helium. Keep returning all the helium to me. Okay, so now basically I have 2 dispatchers dispatching helium that I can now request anywhere in the world. I am wondering if I will have to come back here to actually tell it where it needs to go. But I guess we'll find out, because of where I want this to go. Actually, hold on. How much space do we have to build here? I mean, I already know. I think this was another resource that we had over here. Maybe this is another resource? So we might end up wanting to mostly explore here, because I think I've done a lot of exploring here already. There might be more to explore. We don't know. But if that is the case, I might as well just build here. I mean, there's a fair amount of flat space here, actually. But if that's the case, then I don't need the transporters here. I can just build here. Huh. Interesting. Decisions. Let's scout out this side, because honestly, it looks like there's a lot of space, but this is not a lot of space, because there I need to build some more miners. That area there might actually be fairly decent to build. We can always just export other stuff as well. Let's just stick with the plan and build stuff in in the main base where we started off. Okay, now let me think. I might need to redesign my base a little bit because honestly, having played this now for, what is it, like 12 hours, 13 hours? I lost track. Let me check. How long have I been playing? Yeah, 13 hours-ish. I've noticed that this is not a game where you want to put up a lot of base production. Why? Why? Where did you come from? It does seem that things are respawning. Yeah. Yeah, you're now watching the worst FPS player ever playing a survival game with shooting involved. Although you could wonder why I don't just run away. Okay, based on the music, that was all of them. What was I saying? Oh, right. Based on my experience so far, it seems that... Am I actually going in the right direction? Yeah, I am. Okay. That you don't really want to just build a major base. What you do want to do is kind of just set up production lines, and then because you're constantly alternating between what resources you actually want to be using, that kind of sorts itself out. Especially considering the belt system is, well, basically they're smart belts. They only work if you need them to work, making for a very efficient setup of a base if you take that into account from the get-go, which I've done to some extent already when I started redesigning my base after like 5 hours or so, but I haven't really done that with some of the bases that I've built before that yet. Which also raises the question, I actually don't really know what the next resource is that I need to produce. So let's get back to the base and check that out. Oh, you can build vertically? Left blank? How? I mean, we have pillar support, but as far as I know... Okay, hold on. Now I need to test this. You can build it. Can you like make multiple floors like this? No, that doesn't work. How do you make multiple floors? Oh, by the way, for those of you that were here yesterday, I did actually figure out how to do the whole, what are these things called? Rail connectors. So you can place them like this, and then if you press the middle mouse button, which is, as far as I know, the game actually doesn't tell you, because the height that you see on the right is just moving things up and down. You see the same thing for every building. But if you click the middle mouse button, you freeze this in place basically, and then you can do this. I mean, that's a lot easier than what I was doing to raise the entire thing up and down if you want to make multiple inputs to a building. But I haven't found out if you can build vertically. I actually was reading some stuff on the Reddit today where people were actively saying that you couldn't. So, teach me, teach me. If you can build vertically, I would very much like to know. I know you can build these blocks. You can build those vertically. But, well, actually, is that the trick? Okay. If you're just trolling me now... I mean, I know you can stack these up. But does that mean you can just put a platform... Oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Can you snap that to another building? That doesn't work. Huh. Well, I might still be missing something, I don't know. I mean, building a vertical and a sentry tower will be kind of fun. But, also kind of pointless, but still fun. Okay, so, what are we doing? First of all, I can replace these 5 billion solar panels with just a couple of windmills. That's one thing we can do. Hold on, let me see. So, what I think I want to do here... let's just make this a little bit of a reprogramming thing. Okay, hold on, but let's do that. Let's do that with purpose in mind. So let me double check. What do I need to do? I need glass, heat resistant. Well, basically I need glass. So it makes sense to do that here, because in order to make glass, if I remember correctly, furnace, where are you? You are over here. For glass, we just need helium and we need calcium powder, which I do have over here. Everything else I'm producing right now is just completely at a standstill because I already used all of the products that I was producing earlier. So basically nothing is producing anymore because it's just filling up storage. Okay, so then what I need to do is basically rebuild this entire thing, and I think my main base is going to get in the way of that, so I'm gonna have to relocate it a little bit. So let's start with that, make a little bit of room, and then we'll just start expanding this base. I do like that you can very easily remove larger constructs just by targeting the foundation, and then everything that is attached to that will be removed. You also don't have to worry about losing resources because you don't actually use those resources to build stuff. I might run into an issue here because how do I drop stuff? I actually forgot. Here. Well, maybe let's not drop the main thing we're trying to produce. Hold on. We can probably drop some helium. I actually wonder if the helium that we drop, the stuff that we drop on the ground, if that actually disappears after the sun erupts. That's gonna be an interesting thing to test. I think it does actually. Let me remove the other things that just give me building materials first before I start removing my storage. I don't actually care about my storage at this point. Now, a mass deconstruct would have been nice. In order to make this efficient, you kind of want to delete the same buildings in a row, because that makes it a lot easier to remove them faster. Oh, as long as you do that properly at least. As you can see, that goes really quickly now. I mean, I could just keep using the solar panels, there's no real downside to that. I'm dumping a lot of stuff on the ground now, but that's okay. We're playing a factory game, and factory games are made to make it be pretty. At least that's what I think. Oh yeah, if you are using those custom foundations like I am, the black ones, you don't actually need to remove those one by one. You can just remove everything else attached to them and they will just disappear because they need to be attached to something else. So you can see this is just deleting multiple buildings at the same time, and once you know that, things become a lot more efficient. I can remove this entire pipeline because that no longer has a function. Let's remove this storage as well. And yeah, that's... I'm stuck in the stuff on the ground now. Okay. If we need materials, they're right over there. Okay, so... excavator. We might as well just set this up properly now. Before I was just setting everything up that I needed. But I think you actually don't need to worry about that too much in this game. Which feels a little weird, coming from pretty much every other single automation game out there. I do think we kind of want to build this in this direction, and we need to keep in mind that we have this hill over here. So I am going to use this thing, this height, as a baseline for the rest of my base. Okay, let's see. We need smelters. So this should be a good height. Let's log that in. And then we know for every single one of these excavators we need a single smelter. So at least if we want to make sure we can actually use all the base resources. So I'm in my own way. There we go. Okay, so this height should be great. Then all we need to do is just put up a couple of these. Let's make sure we have those set up in the correct height as well. Okay, and then all we need to do is set up some connectors here as well. Let's see, we can set up one over here. Let's can take that one in and that one. And we can set another one in over here to take in that one. And then this one can connect the other two lines up. Hope I'm making sense, but if not, that's okay. Okay, hold on, let me think. Yeah, we can connect 4 of these up, because that should be fine. Okay. I'll have to double check the outputs of these things, but I think 4 of these can actually fit on a single line, so as long as we connect all of this in the correct direction, we should be good. We should be good. Okay, okay, there we go. Anyone have any weekend plans? This is mine, by the way. Yeah, I am aiming to play a lot more of this weekend. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. It's not too complicated. Oh, well, actually, it is. No, it's not super complicated. It's also not frustrating. So, for example, with Satisfactory, it is extremely rewarding once you get your build done right. It is also extremely frustrating when you mess something up and you need to kind of like, you spend an hour on sorting out your belts and stuff like that. This game doesn't really have that frustration part. And again, not trying to complain about Satisfactory or anything like that. I made a lot of videos about that because I like the game. I only make games on videos I actually like, or well, unless I do a review telling you that I don't like it, and then that's still my opinion. But yeah, really like Satisfactory, but I didn't like that part. Let's put it like that. Can I? Does this work? It works. Okay. So I can actually just put my power production in between my facilities over here. So if I do this, this is a massive amount of power production. Okay, so that means these smelters are going to start working once I put them to calcium blocks. There we go. Now we have calcium blocks in production. I actually don't remember what building I need in order to make the other thing. Is it the fabricator? It is not the fabricator. We need the calcium powder. Calcium powder, yeah. So for the furnace. This is 1 per second. Actually, it's only a third per second. So in order to, you actually don't need many of these to make a whole boatload of calcium powder. We could make 3 times as much, so we can make 12 furnaces if we want, making calcium powder. That is, that's a lot of powder. Do we need that much? Probably not. I am going to do this like this. Oh, by the way, something else I found out is you can actually, when you place these, you press the right mouse button, you have a 2x2, so a 4 tile width, which is really annoying because it doesn't align with the building, so at least not with these buildings. It does align with some of the other buildings actually, so it depends on what you're building, I suppose. But it's kind of a weird design if you ask me. Having things align in this game is not as trivial as it sounds. Furnaces. Okay. The reason I'm building 2 lines is because I want to be able to use this this output for for multiple different purposes. One of them being what we're doing right now. So if if I do it like this, if my theory is correct, that should allow us to make a pretty efficient layout as a multiple purpose. Okay, do I make 12? Honestly, I don't know why not. That just means that if we need that, we can. Also, did I just block myself in? Okay, that's silly. That's not the first time that happens, by the way. I'm gonna need to get myself some more building materials. And probably offload some of the other stuff so I have room in my inventory. At this point, what I think it's worth doing is kind of set up a central hub where you're bringing in most of your more advanced materials, or maybe bring in more of your base materials and then reprocess them elsewhere. Where are we going to do that? I haven't decided yet. We still might do that here. We have a lot of open room here, to be honest. And we already have most of our production here, so I think it makes life easier. Yeah, I agree. Once you set up your base, you don't need a giant base. You just need to make sure you're producing a little bit of everything, and then time will take care of everything by itself, basically. Which is either a pro or con for this game, depending on your personal preference. Let's see, what else don't I need? Well, actually, most of this stuff. I also have an entire like stockpile of stuff I probably will never need, and you probably also don't need to set this up, as long as you set up your game properly. I'm gonna keep these inductors and this glass on in my inventory for the moment. I also have a lot of this stuff. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. How much? We still have 1,000 of that. Okay. Hey, they're great. Yeah, I am doing well. It's weekend. Happy Friday, everyone. What is not to like about the weekend? Well, assuming you have nice plans for the weekends. It seems my character agrees with me there. Oh, yes. Yep, I had a pretty successful work week, as well as I have nice games to play, so, and actually don't have any specific plans for this weekend, which means more gaming. More gaming, more gaming, more gaming. Yeah, that should be fine. I was just thinking if I was forgetting anything, but... Oh, you're very welcome. I'm actually... I was super surprised with how well received my Dice program content was. I mean, especially the first series I made. I was just there like, let me just try to make a series. Maybe someone will find it useful. Seems a lot of people did, which was, of course, kind of the point, but wasn't expecting it to be that successful. So that was a very nice surprise. It is, honestly, it is still among my most, well, by far actually, my most popular content. There's some other stuff that does really well. For example, the Satisfactory stuff did very well. A lot of people seem to especially enjoy the guide I made on the fuel and the trains. Makes sense, because those are actually two of the most confusing things in the game. But sometimes it's weird. Sometimes you make a video and you're like, this is... Why doesn't this fit? Hold on. Am I being stupid now? Am I in the way?
Necesito agua.
Here you go, me talking, trying to do something at the same time. It's colliding with another building, yeah, I know, but that's... I mean... This is weird. I mean, I just literally deleted the building that was in that spot, so... You know, then this one should fit as well, right? That's not in the correct space. Why? Why is it suddenly not aligning? Wow. Okay, that's Okay, hold on. The last one was my mistake. But the building not aligning with like half a block. I mean, here it doesn't it now as well. But if I switch it, it snaps. That is a very strange behavior. I mean, once you know that it's there, you can work around it. But that's definitely not how it should work, in my opinion. Okay. Calcium blocks. All the calcium blocks. Do we need a giant factory? Probably not. It is getting really annoying, this this whole snapping thing now, though. That was number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that not aligning again? That might just be me being too far away. Also, now I lost count. We need 2 more, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, this is number 12. What is going on with this snapping? Anyway, there we go. Let me think. Do I need a double line for this as well? I probably need a quadruple line for this. So 1 per second, 4 per second. Yeah, so I need 3 lines for this. Hold on. Okay, this is going to be my largest facility so far. Making something I probably don't need that much of, but... hold on. Pretty sure I fixed the height. Why did you unfix my height? Maybe I didn't do that. Let's try not to blame the game for all my mistakes. Also, I don't need the triple line for the entire thing, but there's actually no downside of doing that, so let's do it anyway. Okay. We also need that on the other side, because of course we need an input line. This input is 4 per second, so that actually fits on a single line, so that should be fine. I hear all kind of weird noises around me. Am I being attacked or something? Oh, okay. Okay. I also want some storage. Basically to buffer. Where do I put that? Also, I do need that secondary line here as well. So then I might as well do this. Is that aligned? That's like the question I ask myself 500 times while playing this game. Is that aligned? So if we do this, then basically, even if we do have some multiple things in production, we always have a buffer system. There are some buildings like that. Oh, hold on, did you hear that? That's just physics kind of boosting into each other. That's interesting. But yeah, this should work. Now we just need to figure out how to get up there. I can't jump that high. Great. Did I already set all of these machines? Yeah, these are all working. That is great. Then these machines are going to be producing calcium powder. That is just from the blocks. Is there a way I can actually copy paste the setting? That might have been in the tutorial, but I don't remember seeing it. And I don't think... I can't just do the copy thing. When you copy a building, it doesn't copy the recipe with it, I think.
Necesito agua.
Oh, that's not the recipe we wanted. This girl needs to learn to drink some more water. So earlier today I was watching some YouTuber play League of Legends. I actually watched several of his videos and I don't remember who it was, so otherwise I would tell you. But I played League of Legends very badly, by the way. Way back. I don't remember how many years ago. And the fun thing is he did it so well, it made me want to play League of Legends. And I also know that playing League of Legends is a lot less fun than watching League of Legends if you're not good at it. Especially if you're not good at it. So that's always very tricky. And then I'm like, okay, so this guy makes super interesting, fun to watch, riveting gameplay with League of Legends. And I make videos where I basically do math, lay out buildings like an architect. The difference couldn't be bigger. Anyway, let's actually set up some reels so this stuff starts producing something. So let's do it like this. There we go. Oh, this is going to take a minute. It's not an entirely fair... Oh, hey, welcome Andrew. Yeah, a TDA stream, that's a new thing I literally decided 2 days ago, like 10 minutes before I started the first stream on StarRupture. Like, hey, I actually want to do some more streaming again. I did a couple of streams way back on Starfield. Wasn't the biggest success. I also was extremely stressed. Very nervous doing that. And the big difference now is that I literally decided, should I stream? Yeah, let's stream. I have had zero expectations of myself while doing this, which helps if you don't want to be stressed. I was like, worst place, no one watches, and I just play the game, and which I was planning to do anyway. And if people watch it and like it, well, then that's a bonus. And it seems several people actually liked it, because yeah, we had several people tuning in, which is really good. The reason the both reels go left is these two reels have different purposes. Let me actually show you, which is easier. Hold on. Why is my drone not working? Here, there you go. So, this line is the outline for any other line that is going to use the blocks. Because if I remember correctly, you also need sheets. If you want to produce sheets, I mean calcium sheets, you also need the blocks. So what I'm doing here is basically making a buffer that is absorbing some of these blocks, and then the rest of the production is going to go into the furnaces. But this will allow me to make a secondary output line where these blocks are not going to go into the furnace but into something else that also uses these blocks. And if at the same time I'm also producing the powder, I'm basically just splitting my production line in two by doing that. I just don't want to have the furnaces be the bottleneck for my production if I'm doing two things at the same time. And honestly, if you set your factory up like this from the get-go, you're probably going to finish the game in about half the time that I am doing. Because I am pretty much convinced at this point that that is the most efficient way to play this game. Not necessarily the most fun way to play the game, depending on what you want to do, of course. But that's completely subjective, but if you want to be kind of like efficient, then that's, I think, the way to play this. But man, these are a lot of things to build. Okay, and the reason we have 3 lines over here is that we have 4 of these producing 4 per second. So yeah, this I can only hook up 4 to the first line, and then that actually needs to be the back line. Otherwise stuff will get in the way. So this is going to be the primary line, or well, line 1, because there's no point in prioritizing one line over the other, as they're exactly the same. I can also remove quite a few of these things, by the way, which I will do in a second. Yeah, if you make it a spider web, which is actually what I did initially as well. The base you see here is actually my second base. I destroyed everything, and then hydration very low. Anyway. There you go. It's my second base. This I destroyed everything, rebuilt everything, and then, well, like I just said, basically still did it in the not in the most efficient way. It was more efficient, but yeah, I have a bit of well, maybe OCD is not the correct word to use, but I do definitely stress a bit. Like if I'm playing a factory game, and I'm like, yeah, this is not efficient, then my brain goes like, okay, I need to start over and make it more pretty, more efficient, etc. Is that efficient in terms of actually finishing the game? No, definitely not. But it's how my brain works. It'll just keep annoying me if I'm looking at my base and I'm like, yeah, this works, but it's not efficient. It's not the best base it could be. Yeah. No, that's not where we want that to go. Yeah, then I just have to start over. Fun fact, when I played Dyson Sphere Program, I think I started, and in that case actually started over the entire game. I think I restarted the entire game from scratch at least 12 times before I even got to yellow signs. Now, of course, that game, optimization, is... am I an idiot? Yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay, so hold on. No, actually, never mind. That was correct. We can remove that one. We can remove that one, and we should have 4 left. Yes. Do we need this much powder? Probably not. Maybe later. Then we have the power. Then we have the powder is what I meant to say, but we also have the power. Anyway, speaking of power, how are we doing in power? We've only used half the power in the grid. Okay. Safe to say, the wind turbines, really good. Yeah. No complaints there. Let's set up some storage. Preferably without me getting in the way of myself. You're on your second base now, and
I'm detecting increased Ruptura activity.
Hold on. I actually. Okay, hold that thought. I need to build myself a base. Doesn't need to be fancy. It just needs to keep me alive. There's where's the stair things? There we go. Shallow stairs, the most useless thing in the game, probably. Now, we can't have a building like this without windows. Windows are by far the viewports. By far the most important, especially on the side where the sun is. Okay. Now we have this, we have a little hidey hole. This is going to absorb calcium powder. Oh, not calcium ore. Hold on. That's the easier way of doing this, by the way, is just to make sure it's actually connected before you start messing around with this. Okay, I'll go in. I don't want to go through death. I don't have to. But at least now my storage is starting to fill up. You're working on your second base now, you're messing around with it. I built my base on multiple pillars so I can run the rails underneath. So they can cross the top layer without being on the same... Ah, that's actually smart. Yeah, that's...
For impact.
Don't you run into height issues then? Because if you build things on the pillar height seems to be the same maximum height. Oh, by the way, just a quick tip if you didn't know already. There are a couple of those holes in the ground that are covered up with plants and that you can't get into unless you go after one of these ruptures and then the plants are gone because they got burned away. It's probably a pretty obvious thing, but worth noting if you hadn't figured that out. There's one of them on the map. I think it's yeah, it's this underground cave. Strangely enough, I don't think there was anything special in there, but something I actually did earlier today during lunch as well. One base with one wheel using the 1 to 3 back to back to make on-off ramps at every building. Ah, oh, you use those as splitters. So you use the whatchamacallits. Things have weird names. Oh, I actually took them out. Hold on. The multi-rail modulator. The modulator. Okay. I still don't know how typing on my keyboard lowers the temperature of the airlock, but I'll take it. Okay, let's see. We need to connect this up. Just so everything can flow into the storage if we needed to. I'm not sure how I'm going to use the storage just yet, but let's make sure that's set to calcium powder, that one too, and that one too, so everything should be able to flow through. Yes. Okay, so now we have calcium powder production. But I'm not completely done here, because there's a couple of other very basic stuff that we can make that I probably want to add in here before I start adding in anything else. Since I'm making this layout now anyway, so we have the ore, we have the blocks, so everything that needs to come from furnaces is done. Then let's check the fabricator. So honestly, this might be the only calcium facility that I ever built, so I might as well just build it properly now. Calcium sheets are made from blocks as well, so this is where the secondary line came in. Or is going to come in at least. Because what I am going to do... Now, to your earlier point, this might have been a reason to have the secondary line go the other way. Honestly, I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Now, the real question is, am I going to make the calcium sheet production? Am I going to start that from here, or am I going to start that from there? I'm probably gonna... just to make counting easier, it's not necessarily the most pleasing design in terms of how it will look. Actually, hold on. We can make it pleasing. Oh, at least a little bit more pleasing. Although there is a risk involved with that as well, but I don't think it's going to matter in the long run for this specific game. So I don't recommend doing what I'm going to do now in most factory games. But I think we can just build the new line next to the smelters. Because we know we're not going to be adding... Well, I don't think we're going to be adding in more smelters over here. So then we can just maximize the production. Yeah. Which does mean that this should be... Actually, we can just make it like this. This is going to produce 4 per second. I actually need to double check the production speed on this, because I think this had a different production speed than all the other tier 1 production. Yeah, so we can make 8 of those. Okay. Oh, actually, oh, that's gonna be super pleasing. So, because what we can do is this. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at that alignment. Now, the storage is going to stick out, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's as close as it's going to get. Yeah. So, all we need to do is put up some supports over here. Probably better than that. I literally just touched my middle mouse button there for a second. Just before I clicked. And I'm out of building resources. Yeah, we are definitely using the building resource production. I remember about 10 hours ago, in terms of game time, when I set up the production, the automated production for the base resource, I was like, am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Probably I don't need to be doing this, but I'm very happy that I did. So you have your base 2 or 3 pillars high, but you build platforms on the top layer and remove the layers underneath. The floating platforms, so that... Ah, okay. But how do you get your base to be 2 or 3 pillars high? Oh, let me get the resources first. Because, as far as I can tell, then the game starts complaining that I can't do that.
Oh, gotcha.
We hadn't actually completely filled this up yet. That's interesting. That's the first time that happened. So just to explain what I'm telling you. So we have a supported platform. And this is... So if I place this, for example, as far as I'm aware, you can't build anything on top of that again. All of the machines. So how do you have your pillar stack? Oh. Okay, hold on. That works. Didn't I literally try that just like 20 minutes ago? And it didn't work? Huh. Okay, hold on. So let's say we do this. Can I then... Let's just pick a random building, a smelter. Okay, that doesn't work. If I build the entire platform, does it work? So do you need to actually like build an entire platform like this in order to place another building on top of that? So let's say a storage depot. Well, this is making its own platform. Now I'm just Ah, that's interesting. Well, I might need to have some more fun with that in a bit. It's still not entirely intuitive how that works though. Because, like I said earlier today, I was literally reading forum posts on Reddit that pretty much said, yeah, you can't build vertically in this game, so you need to do it horizontally, which is pretty much the same conclusion I reached. The big issue is that you have to start locking the Y level if the ground is uneven. Yeah, well, yeah, I know that, but it doesn't actually let me build beyond a certain height. But if it does let you build like that, if you expand the platform manually, do you need to support platforms all the way, but like pillars everywhere? I mean, if this... I'm not sure if you just found a bug or if that's intended to work. Either way, because it feels like the game does not want you to build vertically. As in stacking different layers on top of each other. So if you are supposed to be able to do that, like you described, then the game does a really bad job at letting you do that. And if you are not supposed to do that, well, congrats, you found the bug. But yeah, if you are supposed to be able to build vertically more, then the game definitely has some work to do there. Because trust me, I tried. And I honestly, I have to say, I didn't try very hard. But when the game basically told me, yeah, no, this doesn't work, I was like, okay, well, fine. I mean, honestly, it's not a problem that you can't build vertically, and it's really pretty not to do so. So, I mean, look at this game, it looks completely stunning. So I figured like, okay, apparently we're not supposed to do that. But it is something I know a lot of people will want to do. Even though I personally don't necessarily build a lot of vertical stuff in games like this. Because it's a lot easier to handle your layout when you don't have to worry about levels. Although that does depend a little bit on how easy it is to make those levels. So how did you spend your weekend? Well, I built a factory making blocks. And then I used those blocks to make other blocks. The fun thing is, at my job that actually pays my bills, I have so many people that still think that any form of gaming is for kids. And I don't blame them. I mean, it's just how they were brought up. I'm not someone that likes watching sports, for example. And I know that a lot of people like that, so everyone can have their own forms of fun. But it's always, if you tell them like, yeah, no, I like gaming. It's like, oh yeah, what do you play? Like Call of Duty, Fortnite? I'm like, oh yeah, those are the two games you probably heard your kids about. Minecraft is also one that always comes up, which honestly is a game that I've played. So once I say yes, they're like, oh yeah, yes, I knew something he was talking about. All the way from Pong. I've played Pong. I'm not that old. I'm not Pong old, but I've played it. Let's see. Calcium sheets. Yes, that was what I was doing. Honestly, guys, it is a lot more fun to play this game while talking to you guys. It's just a handful of you in the chat, but I really appreciate you. It's and that is something I do have to say about this game. This game is designed to be played with multiple people. I mean, you don't have to play it with multiple people, which I appreciate, but it's completely set up to be played with multiple people, and I think that's a really good thing. I can really imagine doing that with people and having a lot of fun with that, like being on chat with each other, like kind of we are now in a different way. And that's something that this game really lends itself for. Okay, so we have sheets in production now, we have powder in production now, and look at that, just because we have this storage set up, that means we now have, what is it, 1200, 1600 powder just sitting here. And we will have the same amount of sheets in a moment as well, and we already have the same amount of blocks. Okay, so that means we can now move on to making...
Arcadia 7 has finished regenerating.
Regenerating the planet, apparently. And we can start combining stuff. Now, do we combine it over here? I do think we do that. Just to keep the factory sort of compact, so it doesn't spread all over the place. Right? Makes sense, I think. Let me see. I do remember what I need, I just don't know how many of these things I will need. So, glass is what we want to produce. We have powder. We are producing 3 full belts of powder. We already have 2 full belts of helium ready to be exported. But that's probably going to be complete overkill, right? Yeah, that's probably a bit much. So if I place down... Let's say we go with another 12 of these machines, just to keep everything nice and tidy. That is going to produce 4 per second, but then we would need 8 per second. Right? So 1/3, 4 per second, yes, but we need 8 per second. So we actually have 8 per second powder. Okay, well, yeah, okay, that works. Is that overkill? Probably. Do I really care? No, not really. I mean, with games like this, it's always good to keep in mind that what feels like overkill now is probably not going to be overkill in a moment. This area is probably flat enough, right? You just keep expanding. Building is not connected with grounds. Oh, it's gonna be close. I'm not sure what's going on with the alignment there. Honestly, it feels like they did an update and that made the alignment worse. Or I'm just getting worse at it. It might just be me. I don't know. Okay, but this is the correct height. Now it's colliding with the player. That's okay. 1, 2. Is this where I want to do this? Yeah, I think that will be fine. I do need to get out of the way though if I actually want to build stuff. So let me park my character somewhat strategically here. And then we need some more furnaces. Platypuses. Okay, there we go. 1. 1, 2, 3. What did I just build there? It's not a furnace. Okay, anyway. Yeah, we need to rip out the... Oh, yeah, no. Does it fit? Can I make the last one? No. Okay. This one needs to be replaced. So let me delete this one before I forget. And there's the alignment bug again. I know it's coming now, but... Yeah, and I mean, this game is in early access, so... It's fine that it's not done yet. I know there's people with very strong opinions about what can and can't be done. Why is this not... Oh, ran out of resources already. I know there's people with very strong opinions about everything EA related, which is fine. I do think that if you release a game into early access, it should be playable. And by playable, I mean fairly stable, give you a very good impression what the game is all about. Basically, at the very least, a very extensive demo of the game. And if, depending on the state it's in, of course, the price should reflect that state. I do think that this game got that right.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing, like you know, for over a dozen hours. I got the game, I got a review key, of course, so a little bit biased, maybe. But if you can play a game for at least a dozen hours, and I know I'm nowhere near done yet, and you don't need to pay more than like 20 bucks for that, then that is decent value. And then, depending on how long it actually takes to finish the game in this state, it's probably going to be just solid value. I mean, it's not Dyson Sphere program, 1,000 hours worth of content, etc. But that's a very high bar to set. And that game has been in development for a very long time, and also didn't have as much content as it has now. So, you know, you do need to make sure if you're comparing games that you do it fairly. And also, not games are equal, so also don't need to be the same. I hate everything about this. Fine, we'll just take it out, and we might set up some storage here. I don't want to look at the building that is slightly misaligned from everything else. You've been playing for 12 hours so far, and you feel another couple at least trying to optimize things further. Yeah, no, I agree. And again, it's early access, doesn't need to be perfect. Isn't perfect, definitely isn't perfect. Once I actually finish the game, I will make a review. I decided I want to do some more reviews again, and I only want to make reviews of games that ideally that I completely finished. There's another content creator that I really enjoy, Mortismal Gaming, that makes reviews after 100%. I might have stolen that type of review once or twice. He does it in a different genre, so we're not competing or anything like that, but I really like that style of content. There's so many people making reviews of games after, like, well, maybe not even playing it, or they're just repeating what someone else said. And of course, that might not necessarily be a bad opinion. Hold on, did I just do this wrong? Yes. And no. Hold on. Oh, well, that's the wrong button. That's the danger of talking and playing at the same time. This line is in the correct place, but this one needs to be lower than the one I already have. I love this. I mean, in terms of doing being in a playable state, I love this deletion system. Deleting stuff in Satisfactory takes forever. As an example of how not to do that, in my opinion. Okay, click downwards. Oh really, do I have to do that every single time? Okay, I wish it would remember the setting, but okay. I mean, this is better than what I did last time I streamed. Definitely. Well, it's not quicker necessarily, but it will look a lot better than the whole spaghetti I made last time. Nah, it's not really spaghetti. It was organized spaghetti. It was aesthetically pleasing spaghetti. Now, I do need to actually check. Does the line go up that steeply? We also need some more power, but we'll deal with that in a second. Okay, that works. Okay. Let me deal with the power first, so we can actually check things are working. Wind turbine. That's gonna make me run out of resources again. Oh, there's a lot of people chatting. That's very nice. Okay, so let me just read a few things in the chat. So, speaking of Dodon, have you tried Alchemy Factory yet? So I actually did play the demo. I haven't actually played the release yet. It's on my list. Too many good games to play at the moment. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I'm over 80 hours. You can just you can definitely done this. You can definitely, I think, finish this in under 20 hours. Well, I don't know how much more content there is, but what I've done so far, I could have done definitely in at least half the time if I knew what I was doing from the get-go. But that's always a little bit of an unfair comparison, because you can speedrun games in a couple of minutes sometimes if you know exactly what you're doing. But yeah, this game is not necessarily super complicated, so... will I be doing a video on this? Yes, definitely. That's actually why I'm playing it now rather than making videos already, because in the last few months I've been kind of making videos and games while I'm discovering them, and I found that I didn't really enjoy that as much as making videos after I have an opinion about that game. So this is why I'm doing it like this, but I figured while I was doing that I might as well stream it, because a lot of you said, well, I would very much like you to play and just maybe not even edit, which is pretty much what we're doing now. And I know there's a lot of people that just like having someone play a game they also like on their second screen while they are gaming themselves, which I think makes for perfect content like this. So why is that one in an angle and this one isn't? Okay, this is my organization OCD. All of these lines are the same. Oh, this one is actually the same as well. Oh, it just looked different from that perspective. Okay, okay. OCD satisfied. Okay. That's the blocks. Which also means that I need to connect this up. And I need to connect that up. That should work. If I am not mistaken. Double checking this direction. Yeah, this goes into the direction of the storage. That seems okay. And then we need that secondary line to be helium. How much helium? So we have 12 of them. 4 per second is gonna be enough. Okay. Also, I love this. The fact that once you select the recipe, then even if everything else is not complete yet, it already starts demanding the stuff it needs. Makes it super easy to test if things are working. And I also like that if you change things, it doesn't completely clutter up your belt. It does do that to some extent, but it's nowhere near how messy that gets in some other games. What was I doing? Right, dispatcher. No, receiver. That's what we need. Now the real question is, what's the throughput on these things? I actually have no idea. I also don't think it tells you. Did we just plug it in like here? Or does it make more sense to do that like this? I think it makes more sense to do it like this. Does it? It does make more sense to do it like this if we're going to be using it in
and receiver
different
are
places.
two devices that work with each other. Now you can send items between two distant points. This will surely help expand your production.
Okay, welcome to my annoyance. I want a third version of this that is only 1 by 2. Because if I do it like this, it's going to be perfectly aligned with the middle output of this thing. But it's not going to be aligned with everything else. If I do it with the single version, it is not going to be aligned with the output port on this thing, but it is going to be aligned with everything else. So basically, one way or another, it is not going to align with something. Does that matter in the least for how it functions? Nope. But it makes things look less pretty. That is not where I wanted that to go. Yeah, I definitely have to work to figure out the factory game. It helps if you have played a lot of these games before. But yeah, there is no single content creator out there that plays a game like this for the first time and immediately does everything right. I know it looks like that sometimes, but you only see the end result, not the process, most of the time. Okay. Okay, guys, I have to say, look at this. Look at this. This is starting to look like a very satisfying factory. My old factory is actually starting to annoy me at this point. But yeah, this is turning out great. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. I actually got lost here a bit. Where am I? We need a hover pack at this point. Not just a drone, but we need a hover pack. Also, we need a ladder. or that hover pack that would also work. But we're going to have to make a new level to this factory at some point. Okay. Cargo receiver. This is working. Is it receiving anything? No. Can I? No. I was hoping I could select the source. Let's give this a name. This is helium slash calcium. Helium. Calcium. There we go. Helium to calcium. So I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, so we can just set up all the production over here. That's one. One was already set. That's another one. One was also set. Glass. 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 More glass. Glass. Okay. Let me know in the chat. Maybe someone already said it. Can I actually copy paste recipes of a building? Because I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, the clicking of the middle mouse button on this on these pillars is something the game, as far as I know, doesn't tell you. The only reason I know is because someone said it in the comments on the last stream. It's literally the only reason I know you can do this. And actually, the first time someone said it, I actually misunderstood, so it was only the second time someone told me in the comments specifying that you needed to click the middle mouse button. I thought you just needed to roll it, but that's just doing the normal height. It took a lot of explaining. Which is why YouTube videos exist to help you with this stuff. And that will definitely be on one of mine. Also, the fact that you can do that, it's not showing anywhere in the UI. I actually looked for it, but I honestly don't know how someone figured that out. Probably by accident. Maybe there's another game that does that as well. And that's something that helps if you play more games like this, especially for example for content creation. You kind of sometimes know what you're looking for. And how other games are doing things, so you kind of get that. No, it's not really muscle memory per se, but yeah, you know what to expect. It also makes it very easy for reviews if games don't do something that other games do really well, or vice versa. If a game does something new that works really well, for example, like the deletion mechanic I already mentioned a few times, that makes a game stand out. So on a different note, something I really enjoyed in the first few hours of this game is the banter between the different characters. But that seems to trigger so often that after, I'm not sure how many hours, probably just 2 or 3, you've had all the banter, and you never hear from them again. Which is a bit sad. Nope. Getting sloppy there near the end. Oh, she's thirsty again. Okay.
Tasty.
I need to go back in my cave at some point for some more of that stuff. We need some of these. I actually am out of building materials again. I can only build one of them. Yeah, it's kind of like I lost count of how many times I got comments on my videos for Dice program that people were like, "What?" when I built the storage containers on top of a splitter. They were like, wait, what? You can do that? I have to admit, it's not intuitive at all, because the size of the container that goes onto the splitter is... you're building mushrooms. But it works very well. And it's the same for the height thing here with the splitters. Maybe it's like the splitter conspiracy. That's developers intentionally hide something to do with splitters in their games, trying to see if someone will figure it out. Okay. Let's see. We need some storage. Okay, a little sad, but we'll deal with it. I'm not gonna move the entire storage just because of the height difference here. Not yet. I might change my mind later. I reserve the right to change my mind later. But there is something like being too perfectionistic when it comes to these games. Okay, that's glass. We also need a couple of these orbital launchers, and that's the thing with this game. The verticality in the area is steep enough that you can't just build a giant flat base. You will need to do something with verticality one way or another. And not necessarily by building multiple story things. I was thinking, how many of these do I need? And the answer is probably yes. Let's see, so this one needed glass, and this one can use either. Which one do I need the most? Well, I need both of them. It's kind of annoying that you can't see what the reward is going to be in the same menu. Corporate terminal. And this is just gonna give me an inventory upgrade, which is fine, but... Oh, this is also just going to give me a large habitat. In that case, I'm gonna go for the inventory upgrade first. I'm actively using all of my inventory a lot of the time, so yeah. Well, let's put that to that. And you too. And you too. Yeah, seeing the rewards from the cargo launcher is one of the things that has been annoying me a little bit. It's honestly not a big deal, but it's annoying that you can't just see, like, if they just put the rewards over here on the right side. That seems a very obvious thing to do, and would be a nice quality of life thing. Do I need more? Probably. That will just speed things up. I'm actually wondering, do we get an upgraded version of the orbital launcher? Because that will be very handy. I am once again out of power. Because these things upload stuff slow. Although, honestly, due to the time it takes you to build a new part of your factory anyway, it's not too slow. Hasn't really been a problem, but yeah. It might become a problem if you're more efficient at actually laying out your factory. You know what you're doing, etc. You already set up everything in such an efficient way that you don't lose too much time going back and forth and stuff like that. And then once you're kind of like speed running the game, that might become an issue. Okay. Can I fit through here? Yes, I can. We need some more of those power thingies. I'm going through my resources, like my building resources, really quick now. I might actually have to set up an additional production line for that. I'm just gonna fit those wind turbines in here. I kind of like having them out of the way, and I think it looks kind of neat. Just this kind of like mining area with the windmills in there, and then this is like the production. Ah, look how organized this is. Yes, 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 we're really doing it now, guys. We are doing it. Okay. Power is back up. The orbital thingies are up and running, so now all I need to do is go back to the helium facility and make sure we actually deliver stuff. Which means we're going for a road trip. Am I going in the right direction? Yes. So do you think in the future you would just have one base that's in control of power that you ship to the others, or every base that has... Well, I think you can't actually ship power, right? So if you're using the long distance shipping, and I might be wrong about this, but I don't think you can ship the power itself. So yeah, then you need to power your different bases. But honestly, power in this game is a non-issue. Which I could imagine, although I won't be happy about it, I could imagine that they will change at some point in the future. Because right now, power might as well not exist. You get solar panels from the beginning. They are super cheap to set up. You have all the space in the world to set them down, so it's not like they get in the way or anything like that. They look cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually like how the solar panels look. But yeah, power is trivial. Really? That's a lot of them. Oh! Okay.
I'm so hungry I feel sick.
Well, that didn't work. Apparently grenades work on yourself as well. I don't think I have any food stored in here, do I? Nope. Okay. I do count that still as not having died to the aliens, but only having died due to my own stupidity. It's my second death. This time on stream, so that's nice. The first time I died on the first rupture, I was like, hey, what's that rupture? Oh, hey, that looks bad. That looks really bad. Oh, I'm dead now. But, I've used a couple of grenades, and I have been fairly close to them, but I didn't realize they did friendly fire. I also actually thought they didn't do that, not because of any specific reason, other than the fact that they kind of look like these are EMPs. More so than anything else. Where did the little plants go?
Good stuff.
I am assuming, by the way, that my weapon is still on my body, because I actually don't know. Yeah, we're on the right track. Does this give me any HP? No. I think these things are the other ones. I don't remember which one.
Mmm, delicious.
Toxicity is another thing that I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to do. These plants are kind of nice, actually. They give you a little bit of everything. Oh, I still have my... I have my gun, but not my machine gun. It's interesting.
Come to Mama. I can use this.
Does that come with my other weapon? No. Hello, lag. Just for the record, I am not retreating, I am advancing in the backwards direction.
Looks good.
Okay, well, I guess we'll, the thing is, I did get my ammunition back, I think. Yeah, so we basically got everything back except for the food? No, actually we got the food back as well. So it's just the gun that's missing? Okay. Was I just out of normal building materials, or did those get lost? The secondary ones are definitely there. I might just have been out. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Now let me remember. I might actually not be able to build the thing I need now. The thing I need to get my weapon back. Actually, we do have enough for that. So that's this one, right? Yeah, so we can... Oh, okay. I don't have the raw materials to build that. I didn't intentionally store the food here, but now we have it anyway. Stuff that repairs HP. Might as well eat some stuff. There we go. Okay. Back to business. Honestly, you don't really need the machine gun either. Yeah, the pistol works fine. So far, at least. The machine gun is definitely easier to use, don't get me wrong. But it's not a super hard like combat game or anything like that. Okay. So, dispatcher. Helium to calcium. Helium to calcium. So it looks to just do an entire batch. Okay. Well, it works. I can also... Okay, I can send multiple inputs to, outputs to one input. I assume. Let me double check now I go back to the other one. So that is good to know. It doesn't really say anything about the maximum throughput, does it? So I assume just whatever you put in, it will also be able to transfer. It does take 10 seconds to go from A to B. Yeah, so it's not a full belt by default, because it takes 10 seconds to do that. So it is going to slow things down. Now, how does this look? Ah, that's cool. Okay, so that just goes straight up. I was kind of hoping for the drone to just fly across the... I mean, it is flying, but it's just going to go straight up and straight down, I think. So I was kind of hoping that that would be flying around, kind of like the drones in Satisfactory. That would have been, I think, really cool. Maybe them being attacked by some of the spitters along the way or something like that. But yeah, would have been fun. Yeah, so max transfer minus 10 seconds wait, which is honestly quite a bit, especially with the faster belts. And yeah, Mr. White, I am very much Nederlands. You can probably tell from the accent, I don't have the worst Dutch accent, I've been told. But yeah, I definitely have one, and I am definitely the Dutch actuary. Louis van Gaal. I think he has a far more Dutch accent than I have. I think no one has quite a, oh, not many people, let's put it like that, have quite as much of a Dutch accent as he does. I kind of forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was going to double check if this works. Okay, so those are the glass being delivered, so that's working like intended. Ah, there we go. I was wondering how the incoming drones looked. Okay, I have to say, it looks really good.
Rupture activity detected.
Oh, okay.
I recommend finding a safe place.
Did I have a safe place? I do have a safe place. Which is actually okay, because I don't know what's next on the list. I'll have to double check what we need. So, we can work on this one, and we can work on this one. We could also be making synthetic silicon, but I don't know if I have that recipe yet. What else do we need? We need a stabilizer, heat-resistant shield, super magnet. Okay. I don't think I have any of those recipes unlocked yet. I need more building materials. Hold on. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Okay, luckily these things are relatively cheap. Okay. I'm out of building materials, and I figured, like, I'll just figure this out while we're in here, but I actually need to have access to the recipe station in order to figure it out. Okay, we could unlock the quartz building material, but we don't need it for now. We have something that's a power cell that needs stuff I definitely don't have unlocked just yet. What do we have in the fabricator? The applicator. Which, I mean, I can unlock. I just don't know what to use it for, because I don't think we have any one of the factions asking for this yet. So that's interesting. Oh, here we have the heat-resistant shield. So we can definitely make all of this. Okay, and the synthetic silicon that we saw, we also have. Well, we have everything except for the blueprints.
Rupture's core is unstable.
Okay, then we have
Head to safety immediately.
Yeah, blow up the planet already. Electronics and chemicals, we need some more blueprints. The Hardigan agent, super magnets.
Warning. Planet is being incinerated.
We need sulfuric acid for this, which I can't unlock, so I assume this is the yellow resource that we've seen around. But it does seem like we definitely need to make some synthetic silicon, because that is used in pretty much everything else we need to unlock. And the heat resistant shield we need to appease one of our factions. Okay, so heat resistant shields and synthetic silicon are next, but for this silicon we also need the blueprint, so we can actually just set this up for production. While we're doing that, we can also kind of realign our titanium and our wolfram factories as well, similar to what we just did for calcium. Then we have all of that set up. And then we're going to have to do some exploring, apparently, because we need more recipes. Yeah. And then I assume that we're also going to unlock something new, because we're kind of running out of things we can do in the buildings we have. So this is going to give us a habitat, a large press. Oh, the large press is going to make a lot of new stuff, so we definitely need to focus on these 2 levels.
Planetary temperature within acceptable parameters.
Which is okay, because by the time that we finish those other 2 factories, setting those up for the heat resistant shield, I think this will be done. All of this stuff is nice, but the turrets, I don't know. This doesn't seem like a very high priority. Do I have the stabilizer unlocked yet? I actually don't know. I might have that unlocked already. Base core amplifier. Okay. That sounds useful. And that's for the heat resistant shield, sure. And then for the clever robotics, we have even more rails. Again, put these rails on the vertical direction and I will use them. This, I don't know. Anyway, a Mark III one. Okay, that's cool. But honestly, none of this is super important. So it feels like we're getting to the end. Well, it's gonna take a couple of hours to finish, but we have pretty much everything that we are going to need to unlock. I speak 0 Dutch and only a few Spanish and Russian words. Well, that is more Russian and Spanish than I speak. Well, technically I speak a little bit of both. Oh, no. I can't say that I speak it. I know how to order a beer, basically. And badly. Okay, so to upgrade a base core, I was just wondering when I read about the base core. We need a whole lot of stuff, but honestly we could get all of this stuff. And this increases the cooling capacity by 2500. The real question is, why? I mean, the overheat level is still going up, it seems, but this is one of my older base cores and it's only at 300. Oh, you got people join your room, huh? Yeah, well, it's a multiplayer game. Not really cheating, although it is, of course it is a little bit lazy, but... What was I doing? Oh, right, we were picking up materials.
That's just what I need.
It is definitely what I need. Okay. What we also need is to figure out how I make heat resistant shields. I assume that's in the fabricator. Ah, we can actually make the stabilizer. Am I not already making those? I am making rotors. Hold on. Let me double check that. Because it would be really silly to have my factory sitting here doing nothing. We have stators over here. Inductors. Rotors. Hold on. So stabilizers, rotors plus titanium rods. So I could very easily just start making those here. So then the question becomes, do I rebuild this factory? Make it pretty? And kind of do this all over again? Or do I just use what I already have? That's a tough question. So I have enough to build several more dispatchers and cargo receivers, so that is not a reason to dismantle this. I kinda just want to do it all over again. Make it look as organized, as pretty as the previous one. This is definitely going to be a smaller facility, but it might make sense to do this actually. Huh. And then what did we need for the other one? The heats. Where do we make heat? Is that in the furnace again? Hold on. Oh, we haven't unlocked it yet because we needed some resources for that. Okay, in that case, let's just be a little bit efficient. We can always rebuild the other facility that I have to a nicer looking. I actually have that set up mostly to be nice looking already. So we have. We're gonna need a ladder to get up here. We are making what over here? Titanium beams, titanium sheets. I'm making so many different things here. Hold on. This is the titanium housing that turns into. So this is actually making titanium. So I have literally everything I need already. Okay, I am just going to be a bit efficient here for the moment, because I have everything set up already. Because if I do... I'm just going to make it ugly so I know I want to do it properly at some point later on. But for the moment, let's just do it like this. Let's set this up. Hold on. Stabilizers were in the fabricator, right? Yeah. Okay, I can't do it ugly. We need to do it somewhat organized. Let's just do it relatively low level. Actually, let me check how fast the production is. Oh, there's a big stone in there. This is going to be producing stabilizers. There's 1 per 6 seconds. That is mega slow. And now I'm regretting that I didn't set that up. Mostly because I didn't know I could already make those. But if I had known, this would have been running for a very long time already. Nope, that doesn't work. The front one needs to be the lower one, TDA. Right, it does remember the height, it does not remember the other height. Look at me failing to do this quickly and without at least some degree of organization. Yeah, in this case what I'm just gonna do is I am actually, hold on, gonna do it like this. Let's put that so one. This is just going to be a facility that is just going to be working towards making one of the factions happy while we do other stuff. Yeah. Oh, this is actually going to be a bit more messy than I intended. But that's okay. Don't worry, guys. We're going to do everything neatly in the thing I'm going to be building in a minute. But this one is just going to be optimized in terms of efficiency for the moment. Oh, that. Oh. Unless I do it like that. I also wish that the selection of the copy function was working a little bit from a larger distance. Okay, that is the output of the rotors, right?
The
Double checking.
Raptura is in its stable stage.
Yes.
The climate of Arcadia
So we actually
is
need to
returning
double back.
normal.
Then go around the corner. Oh yeah, this is definitely going to be more messy than average, but okay. And then feed in here. Yeah, that should work. And then we have this line that we can just plug in here. Assuming that the game allows me to do that. There we go. And yeah, we have the beams coming in there, or the rods. What kind of car does Norway use to inspect the roads on their waterways? The Fjord Explorer. You go in there, you go in there, you go in there, you... Hello? I know it's one directional, but can't you just change that direction for me then, game? Well. This is a very good example of me kind of hating the alignments here. I would need to use the 4x4, but I want to use the 2x2. 2x1, I should say. Okay. That should work, right? So we can make stabilizers here. Let's go the other way around. Stabilizers. Stabilizers. Then work on you. I think that was the one we cared the least about, but you know, we want to progress through the game, so we might as well do that. Yeah, that works. And then just because we can, I am going to set up a storage depot here as well. And we'll connect that up. And we're gonna set this to stabilizers at a low priority. So then, as I understand it, then it will never receive materials unless the medium and high priority machines on the same line already have everything they need. I'm 100% sure about that. No, you did just see some materials going in there, but I think that is just because it initially wasn't set on medium, or not set on low priority yet. But I might be wrong. Stabilizers, yeah. And you are going to ask for stabilizers, right? No, it was actually just receiving the stuff because I didn't set the recipes yet. That makes sense. Hold on. Clickety click. And you already have. Okay, now, that means we're now working towards 2 new levels of 2 different factions. Now that's nice. And we have a 3rd faction that we could be working on. So this is my earlier work paying off, and this is a horrible factory, so we're gonna move away from here very quickly. And then we're going to be working on some heat shields, which we need to unlock.
You can be proud of the work you've done.
Thank you.
Another order fulfilled for future health solutions.
It also means I need to get back to my other base to make sure we swap that, swap the orbital launchers around. I wish... Do I wish that? Well, I kind of wish that you could select that from a central location or something, but yeah. We have additional inventory space now, so that's nice. You want chemicals now, so no more glass. Okay. What did we need to unlock? We need to go to the furnace, I think. And we need some of those titanium sheets that we have. We also need to go and pick up some glass, which we are importing, which is convenient because I need to go there anyway to change my my other things. And then we need to pick up some wolfram plate, which I might actually have in here somewhere, maybe. Okay, maybe not. Okay, that's fine. Let me analyze some of the stuff I have in my inventory. There we go, we have some of this analysis points. And then... these are all making wolfram wire. Apparently much more than we need. I kind of want to redesign this facility though, along with the other facilities, just to make everything look nice and clean. What are we importing here? Bars, yeah. So if I can just do this, I can just set this to wolfram plates, wolfram plates, wolfram plates. And then set up a storage facility over here to collect that. Another reason to upgrade this facility is because everything is set up with tier 1 belts. Now the upgrading of the belts is super simple in this game, as you might know. You can literally just do this. Upgrade it, done. Upgrade it, done. But yeah, if we're rebuilding it anyway, we can upgrade it like that as well. Okay, so we have those in production now. So that means I can now just go back, pick up the glass. Make sure I reset the building, the orbital command, the orbital launcher thingy, the orbital thingy, to the correct setting, and then we can go for there. Also, this game, it's midnight here now, and I completely forgot about time. We can still play it for a bit. It's weekend after all, that's fine. Okay, so here we go.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
you for the glass. It's actually interesting, the Selenium Corporation values the glass higher than it does the synthetic silicon. So this is actually the efficient way of doing this. I have to admit, I didn't expect that. That's not gonna take up too long then, considering how much glass we're producing and how much value that glass is giving us. It's also interesting that because this is one of the few times since the mid-game that factions actually want more than one different thing. They will accept more than one different thing, which I think is nice because that just makes it a little bit less like, okay, now I'm making A, work towards A, working B. It's a little less linear, basically. It gives you some more options to do things in different orders. But yeah, this is come to, you can already see this completing really fast. This is not going to take long at all. Anyway, I need some glass. Where's my glass storage? It's at the other end. I don't think I needed much glass, did I? I'll just take whatever I have here. Oh, actually I can just go in here and... Assuming I can build one of those things, I can actually build it here. Research it here, I would say. Okay. That is working like intended, so now we just need about 400 of these sheets and 300 of the other sheets. Now imagine how quickly this all would have been if I set it up with some storage facilities, etc. from the get-go. You can see I've started doing that since a while back, and wherever I did do that, super efficient. I'm actually thinking I only have one machine, I think, making those rods at the moment. Let's change that up a little bit. The game is lagging on me a little bit. Hold on. This is my ugly facility anyway, so this is also making rods, and the rods can now go in 2 directions. There we go. Also, I'm not using my storage here actually, so let's make it even uglier. Wait, what did I just connect that to? I don't think that actually did anything. So I could build that, but oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, let's stop being stupid then. This way it is not only prettier, it's also going to be more efficient. There we go. So now the storage with the rods is actually going to be used towards that. This little thing doesn't know where it needs to go now. So let's make sure we remove that. And then everything else should be fine. Okay. Right. Sheets. I was producing sheets here somewhere.
Oh,
There we go.
gotcha.
So that's two. I think that should be enough of those. And then we're probably going to need to set up a proper facility to actually produce that stuff, but let's unlock it first so we can kind of check out the ratios. Furnace? Furnace. There we go. Now we probably also have the 400 Wolfram sheets. Yeah, I am definitely... I'm not feeling super tired. I am really an evening person. But once you're playing this for a couple of hours and it's the end of a long week, you definitely feel like your brain is a bit more foggy than it usually is. Anyway, that means we go in here. I do have to say, always going back and forth is a little bit confusing sometimes. Mostly because I'm like trying to think of 3 things at the same time. But yeah, the heat resistant shield we have unlocked now. And we need what to do that? What's in here? It's probably just the same resources that you use to unlock it, because that has been the trend, yeah. So we need titanium sheets. We need the wolfram sheets. Wolfram plates, okay. Just writing this down so I don't have to forget it again. The titanium sheets and the glass. And by the time we have everything else set up, well, we have plenty of glass with us. But yeah, by the time we have everything else set up, we should be fine. I do, now I have all of this stuff on me. Let me see. I should probably make a bit more of this. Just so I don't run out of that at an unexpected moment. So that's 1500 advanced materials. That is going to last me for a little while. Let's make sure we pick up the base materials as well. Yeah, running back and forth in this game and then forgetting what you were doing. It's the same in Satisfactory. And there the distances are sometimes much longer even. Then I ran to a base, got construction materials, and because you need so many different materials in Satisfactory, I always ended up getting everything except for that one thing that you also needed, and then you needed to run all the way back again for just that. Anyway. So this titanium facility is not looking too great, but it's not the worst in the world. I hate everything about my wolfram facility over here. For several reasons. So I actually have a wolfram powder, or whatever it's called, facility over here. That's literally the only thing that I've ever produced. I don't hate this part. This is actually the part that is producing the base materials. I think I'll keep that up for the moment. Mostly because it's literally dedicated to only doing that. Which is fine. It seems to be doing it at a decent enough speed to keep up with what I'm actually building, so... I would probably recommend, if you start the game all over again, that you... Yeah, do I recommend that you build 2 of those? Probably not, actually. The main reason that I was thinking that maybe you need 2 of them is that once you start building like this, or well, like we've done there in the back, you need more materials. But at the same time, you need less materials because you only need to do it once. And it's way more efficient than what I've been doing so far, so it might actually not be that bad. And the earlier buildings are, of course, much cheaper than what we're building now. The main reason I'm running out of materials is things like the windmills. But yeah, I think that I'm gonna set this up. The slope in this area is actually pretty steep. Doesn't look like it, but it's much steeper than it seems at first glance. But I might just do something very similar to what I've already done here. Start this maybe a little further back. Actually, this initial layout is not in the worst position ever. I just didn't build it with the same idea I had in mind with what I did elsewhere. But the starting position of this might actually be fine. We might just have to make this a multi-level building. Well, not really multi-level building, but a building with that has different heights, basically, just because
Nice.
the ground won't support it as much. Oh, hello. Actually, I don't need that much, do I? Which also means we can probably stop filling this up. Yeah, come on. There we go. That's an entire belt cleared. Okay. That's not the one I needed. This one. Might as well clear out some of the other things here. So I noticed that a lot of this stuff is being used in multiple places, so there we go. Is there anything else in here that needs anything? Oh, we actually had tubes in here, but that's okay. Okay, well, then it's up to us to start rebuilding this entire thing. But considering I'm getting tired, and it's probably better to do that with a fresh mind, and it's nice to have a fresh project at the start of the next stream, I will probably do that tomorrow. Now, when I'm going to do that tomorrow, I actually don't know. I might be streaming in the morning, or my morning anyway. Might be streaming in the afternoon, might be both, I don't know. You'll just have to find out, because I don't have a specific plan for that just yet. But probably somewhere in the morning, around lunchtime, and then maybe some more on Sunday. But yeah, I really enjoyed the factory that we've built today, so I definitely want to expand that design to the other factories as well, and then use the all the transporters that we now have access to kind of get rid of this remaining spaghetti. It's not that much spaghetti we have, actually. but getting rid of that and making it look even more clean is definitely going to be very satisfying. So guys, I very appreciate you joining me, and there were quite a few of you actually along the way. There's about a dozen of you here still, so if you're still here, you are awesome. And I do hope to catch you in the next one.